This is a continuation of my painful experience with LATAM Airlines. It started from the flight cancellation yesterday, and just when you think the drama ended there, it unfortunately did not. Follow me in this episode as I take you through the blood pressure raising time with this airline and Auckland Airport. And of course, the actual flight itself, because thank God we eventually did get airborne.
Yeah, sure. Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
A very good morning guys, and welcome back to my video. I'm coming to you from Pullman Hotel here in Auckland City, and I am here because LATAM cancelled my flight yesterday. So today is LATAM Airlines from Auckland to Sydney part 2. So this is my second attempt in trying to get on the flight today. So yeah, let's head to the airport right now. Let's do this. If you're new to my channel, my name's Ryan. Born and bred in Singapore, I now call Australia home, and I create heaps of travel and food related content. This dramatic experience with LATAM Airlines is just a small part of a wider travel series which began a week and a half ago in Adelaide. I flew to Melbourne where I filmed an eventful foodie video because what else is there to do there but eat? I then experienced Australia's newest budget airline to Sunshine Coast. From there, I ended up in Gympie where I took the train to Brisbane. And then I got on board one of the most beautiful business class cabin I've ever seen in my life. I ended up in New Zealand and I rode the country's newest train service to Hamilton. More flying followed between the North and South Islands, where I ended up in Auckland here in this episode. This journey will finally see me flying Qantas back to where my journey began. These videos will be linked in the description as and when they're published. Better yet, hit subscribe and the bell icon so you'll be notified when these videos go to air. Giving me a like will also encourage me to keep on doing what I do. So here's the thanks, because your support is very much appreciated. Alright, so we just got off the van from the hotel and we're back at the airport again for the second day. Yeah, our second attempt to get on LATAM. So fingers crossed, it will all go to plan today. Wishful thinking. We got screwed around yesterday by the ground handling agent, Swissport. So this morning, any wish of today having a smooth start went out of the window almost immediately. Amongst the stranded passengers from yesterday, most of them chose not to have anything more to do with LATAM. So they all departed on various Qantas flights today at different times. 12 of us chose to stick to LA 801 departing at 8:40 today. Basically the same flight but 24 hours later. At the business desk, we were asked to stand aside because of our offload status from yesterday dictated we get handled by a separate agent. So because we are from the cancelled flight yesterday, so we can't check in normally at the business class counters. So we've come to the check-in assistants. So we get special treatment, I don't know. Yeah, let's see what they're gonna have for us, yeah? 4 of us were in business class, and the rest of the stranded passengers in economy. Once again, dealing with LATAM remotely thousands of miles away in Santiago meant we were waiting for a long time before any one of us got our boarding passes. Bit by bit, those in economy were soon gone, leaving just us in business still waiting for an answer. So here is an update. Me and the other business class passenger from the flight yesterday, they cannot find our booking. Even though we've got our tickets issued by the airline. We received an email about our flight today, but right now they can't locate that booking. So that is a bit of a worry. Yeah. More stranded passengers from yesterday started to appear. So besides us who stayed at the hotel, these additions were those who chose to go back home and come back to the airport this morning. And there was nothing to do but wait, because Santiago was once again not responding to WhatsApp messages from Swissport. Slowly but surely, Even those later arrivals were cleared to proceed. As the lines for other regular passengers started to clear, the sky outside was now becoming bright. And before you know it, there was only 2 of us left in business class who were yet to be cleared by the person on the other end of the WhatsApp line in Santiago. How long more was this going to take? It was really anyone's guess at this stage. While Swissport drove me up the wall yesterday, this pickle I find myself in was purely because of LATAM Airlines. The non-response over WhatsApp has left the 2 of us in limbo. We were just pleading with the agent to put us on any flight, even in economy, because I was desperate for this predicament to end, and I was mentally exhausted even before the day had begun. All I wanted to do was go home. But the agent was helpless because without LATAM's green light, she could not amend our itinerary to get us on another flight. Okay, the time now is 8:20. I think it's 8:20. Hang on, let me see. Yeah, 8:20. So it's taken them 2 hours 20 minutes to issue my boarding passes for Auckland to Sydney and then Sydney to Adelaide. 2 hours 20 minutes. This is what happens when you're working remotely over WhatsApp and no one from LATAM is here, so the ground staff can't do anything. I was the last person on this flight to be given a boarding pass for LA 801 departing at 8:40 AM. And I was told to run. Thank God I don't travel with bags to check in because they definitely would not have made the flight. I now had 20 minutes to navigate another roadblock, which is the seriously notorious security lines at this airport. Any notion of New Zealanders being some of the friendliest people on earth were thrown out of the window right here. Security took a long time. The flight leaves at 8:40. It is now 8:42, so I'm running to the gate to see if they are waiting for me. Yeah. LATAM Airlines in Auckland Airport doesn't use the security express lane. So I had to join the regular line, and during peak hours like now, it can take forever. I saw a big banner which said, "During busy times, let us know if your flight is departing." So I flagged down a staff member and told her my flight leaves in 10 minutes. She told me to stay in line. I once again showed her my boarding pass and re-emphasized my situation. This time she turned to face me, and with her eyes bulging and nostrils flared to its maximum position, it looked as if she was about to give me a personal haka and she was hell-bent on intimidating me. Her lips started to part. She then let out a war cry loud enough for those in the vicinity to hear. "What makes you so special, eh?" I pointed to the banner. "And?" I could have responded in a similar fashion to her obvious power trip. But that could have got me the police, and I would then definitely not have got on this flight. All I asked was a simple question, and a banner which obviously said they could assist. But this staff member chose to respond, dripping in sarcasm like melted butter oozing out of a piece of greasy chicken Kiev. So instead of risking police intervention, I chose to take one up the chin because I was just desperate to get home. Flight information displays all over the airport showed that LA 801 was on time and the gate was closing. By the time I made it to gate number 8, boarding had only just begun, as the general boarding call was just being made. Just like yesterday, the updates for this flight has not made it to the flight display screens around the airport. Suppose this delay worked in my favor. But do delay updates ever get broadcast with LATAM in Auckland? Who is responsible for this? The ground agent? After the drama of yesterday, I cannot believe I was actually boarding the aircraft. I strangely thought that I won't be 100% assured until we get airborne. Greeting us on this flight across the Tasman is Charlie Charlie, Bravo Golf Quebec, a Boeing 787-9, delivered to LATAM Airlines in September 2023. So this bird is spanking new, just over a month old at the time of writing. This must be the newest aircraft I've ever been on in all my years of flying. LATAM presently operates a fleet of 21 Boeing 787-9. While I was meant to be on the old business class configuration yesterday, This new flight sees me in their latest business class offering. The welcome on board is extremely warm and friendly. And here I am stepping into the new cabin. It is so new it even smells like it. I'm seated in a window seat in the last row on the starboard side of the aircraft. There are 45 seats in a staggered fashion, and this Vantage XL design has been replicated in so many other airlines, with each giving it their special spin. LATAM's color palette is extremely pleasing, stylish, and very, very moody. I like what I see. Here's the tricky thing about LATAM's new business class seats. They're found on all 777s, on most 767s except those based in Brazil, and on 787 Dreamliners delivered after late 2019. So if you're flying from Melbourne, Sydney and Auckland with LATAM, which is serviced by the 787s, it's really Russian roulette which configuration will turn up. And no, there are presently no plans to refurbish those pre-2019 Dreamliners with new seats. I've flown these Vantage XL seats on Malaysia Airlines, Philippine Airlines, Qantas, and now LATAM. As much as I'm so annoyed with this airline, I gotta say these color choice and cabin fittings come out on top of the list amongst those carriers I mentioned. There's no argument on how beautiful the design and finish is in this cabin. So if you've flown in these seats before, it should take you no time to get familiar with the surroundings. Yeah, so we have boarded. It is now 9:10. And hi, how are you? Yeah. So anyway, that was the very friendly welcome I had from the cabin crew. It is now about 9:10, so we are not that we're not that rushed to depart after all. So all that running from security was all for nothing. I think obviously we are a bit delayed because we are still at the gate and waiting for other passengers to join us. Yeah. Over the last 30 hours or so, I've kinda come to the conclusion that being on time isn't high on the list of LATAM. We pushed back 1 hour 9 minutes behind schedule. There was neither an apology nor explanation as to why this happened. It was just all smiles and laughter, and "Hola, bienvenido a bordo de LATAM, ha 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 ha." And that's it. Suppose it was a good thing I intentionally planned a 5-hour transit in Sydney because of this. The origins of LATAM Airlines can be traced back to LAN Chile. LAN stood for Línea Aérea Nacional, or National Airline. They were government-owned right till the late 80s, when privatization saw them getting rebranded into what was the world's most stunning liveries ever. Well, in my opinion it was. Soon after, subsidiaries of LAN started popping up all around South America, in Peru, Ecuador, and Dominicana. So LAN was no longer LAN Chile, but LAN Airlines. And LAN was now thought to be an acronym for Latin American Network. In 2010, LAN Airlines merged with TAM Airlines of Brazil, and the combination of LAN and TAM leading to the formation of LATAM Airlines we see today. And they are presently the largest multinational airline holding company in South America. The weather had been absolutely horrendous during the last few days of my stay in this beautiful country. And today, we were blessed with this stunning weather for flying. Taking off from runway 23 left, the flight path would remain roughly westerly, heading over the Tasman towards our destination in Sydney. On arrival, we would perform a dogleg for sequencing, landing from the south, completing this flight in 3 hours 15 minutes, covering a distance of roughly 2,160 kilometers. For such a short daytime flight, LATAM provides an extremely comprehensive sleep kit packed into this cute-looking bag, which looks like it belongs to the side of a donkey, hee-hawing across the Atacama Desert. It consists of this very thick doona, which was so comforting to wrap yourself in. I could see myself spending hours cocooning in this. And then there's this fluffy pillow, which I could not wait to try out. Because you know what? I had a shitty night at the hotel, tossing and turning, so I was looking forward to a power nap after breakfast. Just before the meal service began, there was a hot towel service. Very impressive. Little touches like this are seriously becoming such a rarity these days. A lot of airlines did away with such practices during COVID and have sadly never reinstated it. Shortly after the towels were collected, it was time for the meal service to begin roughly 40 minutes into our journey. Our meals were served directly from the carts, which made the whole affair extremely expeditious. Because of the check-in fiasco earlier on, I obviously had no time to fill up my tummy at the lounge. And my last meal being dinner last night, you can imagine just how hungry I was by now.
For breakfast, I've got omelette, or the other choice is a sandwich. It's cheese with pickles.
I'll get the omelette.
Omelette, okay.
Pickles, oh.
It's like a burger without burger. It's strange.
Is that a Chilean thing or?
No, it's from here.
Oh, from here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Burger without a burger.
So you run away.
Alright, thanks.
Here you are. May I offer you yogurt with cereals?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Here you are.
Nice.
And some bread.
Croissant, please.
Croissant.
Yeah.
Anything else? Why something?
No.
Drink, I've got bottled as coffee, tea, orange juice, apple juice, water.
I'm gonna have a tea with milk and sugar, sweetener. Okay. As far as single tray meal service goes on a 3-hour international flight, this ticked all the right boxes. Colorful side accompaniments of granola with yogurt with a fruit compote base, a steaming mug of fragrant English breakfast tea with milk, flaky buttery croissant, fresh fruits, and this generous serve of cheese omelette with savory greens and very well-seasoned mushrooms. Breakfast flights are easily the cheapest meals to cater for, so LATAM thankfully went all out to fill me up. I've heard stories about how catering on this sector is really weak, and all they serve are cold cuts. Perhaps that was during COVID? What you see here definitely filled me up very nicely. Impressively, there is also an amenity kit provided. This design is most quirky. It contains the usual suspects of an oral hygiene kit, earplugs, eye shades, and a pair of socks. I intend to give this amenity kit away to those who leave a comment below and tell me why you'd like this item. 3 conditions I impose. Number 1, you must be a subscriber to this channel. Number 2, be a follower on my Instagram. And 3, you must live in Australia. I will announce the winner of this amenity kit on my Instagram page at the end of November, and I will then mail it to you anywhere in Australia for free. So leave a comment and good luck! Throughout my whole ordeal yesterday, which was thoroughly covered in a part 1 video, I did not realize I was running high on adrenaline. I was still so pumped after dinner, I spent a good few hours at the hotel bar chatting to fellow stranded travelers. Isn't it strange how my brain refused to shut down as I began arranging a storyboard in my mind how I wanted to illustrate this entire journey I've had into my videos. Which explains why I was tossing and turning in bed last night, unable to have a fruitful sleep. So now that the high is beginning to wear off, my body was telling me it's time to rest. And this is when I snuggled into my pillow and promptly fell asleep right up till I got woken up in preparation for arrival. At this stage of the flight, all passengers in this cabin received a personal thank you from the cabin manager. She was all smiles as she went around engaging in little chit-chats about where we were coming from and going to. So this leads to my conclusion about the entire experience with LATAM Airlines. If I were to score this solely based on in-flight service, LA 801 in business class from Auckland to Sydney on this day would have rated extremely high on the scoreboard. As soon as we stepped on board, it was clear this team was going all out to win us over. The service was impeccable, outstanding, and everything was delivered with a smile. This team was extremely friendly without being overly intrusive, discreetly walking about the dark cabin with drink top-ups without being too overbearing. If I were to be extremely picky, I'd say the only bugbear for LATAM's business class service is the lack of a pre-departure drink, and that's really being overly picky. Otherwise, the entire service from start to end was tip-top and flawless. But our travel experience is never only about the flight now, is it? Our interaction with an airline begins the moment we make a booking, to the airport experience, and everything in between even before we step on board the flight. And this is where I take an objective stand. My challenge with the LATAM call center and that truly bizarre attempt at charging me $764 American for an advanced seat assignment is something truly for a dinner table conversation starter. Like seriously, what the hell was going on there? Did my request get lost in translation by that Indian call center? And they thought I wanted an upgrade? I'll truly never know what was going on through the heads of those agents who handled my call. And there's no hiding the fact about that painful, excruciating ordeal yesterday when the flight got cancelled. I have to re-emphasize here, I'm not one to kick up a fuss with delays and cancellations. But the ground handling agent handling us at Auckland Airport had their resources stretched to the max. We did not leave the airport for our hotel until 4 p.m. All this while, we were hanging around in limbo with no communication. So unless you're flying Air New Zealand from Auckland, if your flight decides to go pear-shaped, just keep your fingers crossed it isn't Swissport handling your flight. Because the staff disappeared on us for a couple of hours, and we were running around the airport like a couple of idiots looking for help. And the lack of a station manager from LATAM at Auckland Airport truly exposed the limitations on how to handle a flight in crisis. Using WhatsApp as the only communication tool between the airport and Santiago proved challenging. Decisions were made painfully slow, which resulted in an epic bottleneck of stranded passengers looking for answers. And the passengers in yesterday's LA 801 service had come not just from Santiago, but also from numerous other LATAM flights all over South America. I encountered two blokes whose journey began in São José do Rio Preto in Brazil, to Guarulhos in Sao Paulo, and joining the flight in Santiago to Auckland and home to Sydney. A journey which was supposed to take 30 hours. But it took them 5 days because it started with a cancellation at the first airport, delays in Sao Paulo and Santiago, and finally the Auckland incident yesterday. So you can understand why a lot of passengers from yesterday have decided not to fly LATAM ever again. Their journey was long drawn, peppered with challenging delays and leading up to yesterday's cancellation. And to add insult to our battered existence, the drama continued this morning at check-in, adding salt to an already bleeding wound. As for me, I find it really difficult to recommend getting on this flight for a trans-Tasman journey because when things go wrong, there is very little support in Auckland because the decision makers are literally an ocean away. So fly them at your own risk because despite the excellent in-flight service, I'm not in a hurry to return. FYI, this journey with LATAM from Auckland to Sydney and Adelaide nabbed me 130 status credits and 5,475 Qantas points. And LATAM's business class offering is really miles above what Qantas offers on this same sector. So with that said and done, would you get on board LATAM on your next visit to New Zealand? Or do you intend to fly them beyond towards Santiago and South America? Let me know in the comments. For now, let's close this video up and arrive into Sydney International Airport. And welcome back to Australia, everyone. I've officially been stamped in and this is Sydney International Airport. So, man, what a journey I've had. So I've chucked details of my Instagram on your screen right now, so hit me up there, chuck me a follow, so you'll know what am I up to in real time. And if you haven't already, of course, more importantly, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you know every time I get myself into such silly situations again overseas. Alright, so in the meantime, I'll bid you farewell and muchas gracias everyone, and thanks for watching, and I will see you for my next video. Bye!